Back to the information and conversation with Matt. This is your Houston Morning News.
KTRH News Time is 7:17, and joining us right now, former FLDS member Carolyn Jessop. And she's also the author of books talking about the incredible years that she's spent in that cult. And that's the only thing I can call it, Carolyn. Welcome to Houston's Morning News. Thanks for taking the time this morning.
Oh, thanks for having me on your show.
Let me ask you this. With the imprisonment of Warren Jeffs, life in prison, I think that he should get death, but that certainly wasn't on the table. Do you feel as though you can close a chapter of your life now that he's in prison for life?
Oh, I think for a lot of us from that society, we do feel that strongly. We feel that this does close a chapter. In some ways, it opens another. But for him to get that kind of a sentence, and for the state of Texas to stand up to this crime and expose it to the entire United States, for us, it's a historical event that's been a long time coming. We've been speaking out about the crimes for generations. People that have left this group, begging the authorities to do something about this problem in Utah and Arizona, and it's for the most part, it's fallen on deaf ears. So all I can say is thank God for Texas, that they have enough integrity to protect children and to do something about crime when they find it.
So, Carolyn, what was it like to testify against Jeff at his sentencing?
You know, it was closing a chapter in my life, standing up to this abuse, standing up to this violence against women and children, and just the systematic oppression that, has been going on in that community for generations. It was a bit disappointing for most of us in the sentencing phase that Jeff refused to even be there, which speaks to what a coward he really is. He could stand up in court and threaten the judge with diseases. He could threaten the jury. He could threaten South America and North America. But when it came to sitting there and confronting people who knew the truth about who he really was, he ran.
Carolyn Jessop joins us this morning. She's a former FLDS member. She escaped from that cult. She's written books about that experience, Escape and Triumph, and she joins us here this morning. Carolyn, you led what appeared to be on the outside a relatively normal life, but it was what was taking place in your private life that was so horrifying. And I want to ask you about a couple of the things that you experienced outside of your public persona when you were involved with the FLDS. We'll get to those questions coming up next, but first...
The conversation continues on Houston's Morning News with Matt Patrick.
KTRH News Time is 7:22, and joining us right now is Carolyn Jessop. She is a former FLDS member. She left that cult. She has since written books, Escape, Triumph, and she joins us here this morning on Houston's Morning News. And Carolyn, thanks so much for taking the time here this morning. We certainly do appreciate it. You write in your book that you had what seemed to be a normal life. You taught school, designed websites, you sold new skin cosmetics to women in the community, but back in the compound, it was abuse. That's how you describe it, cycles of abuse. That's why women stayed. Is that right?
Oh, yes. And the other element, like with me, I was able, even as a child, to get out more into the mainstream society and travel. When I was graduating from the 8th grade, there were several kids in my class that had never, ever left that community. Wow. So it's just extreme isolation, and you're taught that everything outside of the work of God is evil. Every person outside of this will be destroyed when the judgments happen. God has no use for them. He only has use for his elite chosen people, which, of course, was us. So you grow up with a lot of suspicion, a lot of paranoia, and a lot of basically just folklore. But it's very real. And the way you view the world is from this lens of magical thinking.
So, Carolyn, I've got to ask you.
Is removed.
So, Carolyn, I've got to ask you, knowing now what the world knows because they've seen this and this sentencing for Warren Jeffs, will that change anything within the FLDS, or do they seriously not know what's going on?
That, for us, for those of us that have been speaking out about this problem and fighting to get our family members that are still in this group protected, is the next chapter. The FLDS has never, that I'm aware of, had this kind of a legal pushback. they've been allowed to perpetrate these crimes from one generation to the next with limited accountability to mainstream society. In Utah and Arizona, they've been allowed to pretty much live on their own and do their own thing.
And we certainly hope, Carol, I'm sorry, I mean, we certainly hope that this will certainly shine a much brighter light, especially for the kids that are still there, that, something is done. And thank God for you and for the others that have spoken out, that testified against Jeff and put this guy away, this monster away. And we pray for you here in Houston, Carolyn. Keep on fighting the good fight, and we thank you so much for taking the time this morning and sharing your story with us. God bless you and your family.
Thank you, and thanks for having me on your show.
Absolutely. Carolyn.